Hello and welcome to On the Turf, hosted by four guys who have never been on the turf. My name is Arjun.
I'm Shribam Kanda.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Ron Patel.
And for the first time, I think in about 3-4 weeks, all four of us back together. We are entering week 7 of the NFL season, almost nearly halfway, or a third through the season at least at this point. And I think we're starting to see a separation between good teams and the bad teams. So I think, the Cardinals, rough game last week. We're just going to run through all of our teams.
Okay, soon to bring that up. But yeah.
Sorry, Cardinals, rough game last week. Any thoughts on how the season's going so far? A little pulse check?
Yeah. We're not particularly good.
Okay.
We're fine. Like we'll win some games, but we're not particularly good. The offense, I don't think the offense was really the issue last week, despite what the score says. I think the defense is really awful. I'm ready to book it to next year.
All right. Sounds like a regular Cardinal season.
I could, it's been a while since I've said that. Book it to next year.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
imagine saying book it to next year.
Well, better to have a top 10 pick than be a first round playoff exit, in my opinion.
Okay, that's one way I think of it. I'd say the rest of our teams very much in the hunt. The Bills getting to 4-2, big trade this week with Amari Cooper. I guess we can kick it off there. We had some big receiver trades in the NFL this week. We'll talk about Davante Adams when we get to the Jets, but first with the Buffalo Bills, Amari Cooper, thoughts on the trade? I personally think great move by the Bills front office.
The Bills through 6 weeks with no receiver, especially with Shakir out these last 3 games. The offense on the whole it's been nice. It has been terrible, it hasn't been incredible, but it's been pretty good. Josh Allen's playing efficient, good football, but they really sorely needed a receiver like Amari Cooper, and he doesn't even have to play to the best of his ability. He doesn't have to be like how he was back on Dallas, even his first year in Cleveland. We just need a guy that can actually go out there and be a threat for defenses and fulfill that number one wide receiver role. Because then you have these hodgepodge receivers like Khalil Shakir, like Keon Coleman, like Curtis Samuel, who can succeed off the trickle-down effect. And I think and Dawson Kidd as well. And I think on the whole, it's going to make this offense a lot better.
Yeah. It's a great move.
Yeah, it was a great move. I think, in terms of what they gave up, only giving up a 3rd and 7th rounder, getting a 6th rounder as well. I think a big reason of why, you're giving up third round value is we're really not paying much of that contract either.
Yeah.
I think they're paying him around $800,000 for this year, and the Browns are covering the rest of the contract the way it's all structured. So things really worked out for the Bills here. I think that was a fantastic trade. I wrote the Bills off at the beginning of the year. I'm willing to admit that I was entirely wrong about them, and I think this further cements that they
never bet against Josh Allen.
I think this just cements that they're going to win the AFC East.
Let's move to the other
AFC
East. A lot of noise over this team. We didn't have an episode last week. We didn't talk about Robert Saleh being fired. And the Jets just keep giving us news while they keep losing games. They're 2-4, but they've traded for Davante Adams. Aaron gets his guy, Davante Adams, Garrett Wilson, new head coach, new offensive coordinator, and we're only in week 7. Shree, your thoughts on the Jets making this move? After their Monday night loss against the Bills, they've been in the last couple games, but haven't been able to close it out. Do you think Davante Adams helps them get there?
No, honestly, I think it does. I think I said it. I think a few weeks ago, or maybe last week or something. Like Davante Adams coming to the Jets just opens up this Jets offense so much more. I think Garrett Wilson being your number 2 is insane. And I think that's honestly the best duo in terms of the wide receivers that you have in the league. You have Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, but I think this is number 1 up there. I think that opens up the room so much for Aaron Rodgers. And we all know Aaron Rodgers likes to throw to guys that he likes all the time. And so he'll be up there. Davante Adams is going to eat. And as a Steelers fan, this is extremely scary. Last time Davante Adams was on the Raiders, he cooked us for, I think, almost over 200 yards.
He still won the game.
Now
he still won the game.
We still won the game, but now he's got the Jets. And to be honest, the Jets' schedule doesn't actually look that bad. Like unfortunately, they're playing the Steelers, but they got the Patriots, they got the Texans, but then they got the Cardinals, the Colts, the Seahawks, the Dolphins, the Jaguars. All of these are winnable games. This is a team that I genuinely think, even though they're starting 2-4, can sneak into the playoffs versus the Bengals, who have just an insane schedule here on out because of the divisional games and because of their schedule coming up. So I'm excited for this Jets team. I'm excited to see the offensive production that's going to happen. Do I still think the Bills are going to win the division? Yes, I do. And honestly, amazing move for Amari Cooper. But yeah, great move for the Jets.
I think all of us had the Jets making the playoffs in preseason. Camille, you're one of the biggest Jets haters on here, but I believe you had the Jets
I did.
getting
Yeah.
the number one seed,
No, nothing.
or at least winning the AFC East.
No, I had the Bills win.
Or you had the Jets getting
winning
the number.
not the number one seed, but I had them winning the AFC.
I think I had the Jets win.
Sure, you had them
I-
getting the number one seed.
Yeah,
All right.
and I don't know why. Retrospectively, I don't know why I did that. I think I really thought their defense was great. I didn't expect their
Me too.
offense to be this poor. I mean, it's the offense isn't poor. I guess I shouldn't say, but I mean, Rodgers
It's pretty.
hasn't been.
Yeah, I mean they're in all these games.
There's
They
all these
They
games,
scored
but
the same amount of points through 6 weeks as they did exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that is an oversimplification. You watch
I
the
really-
product on the field; it's much better than last
you
year.
say that. But I mean, you talk about the product on the field, but at some point,
Offensive
6 weeks in,
points.
you'd
Offensive
expect
points.
you'd expect more. If you said that about 1 week, 2 weeks, I'd say maybe. But 6 weeks in, you expect more than what you got
Mhm.
last year. Rodgers, he's looked good. He's looked great at times, but you can't deny the fact that he's not on the same page with his receivers.
Mhm.
He's already thrown 5 picks this year, which is completely unlike him compared to what his past history suggests. I think getting Devontae fixes a lot of that, considering they're always going to be on the same page with each other. But I just think this team has too much going on. They're a soap opera of an organization right now,
Yeah.
with firing a head coach, getting Devontae mid-season, doing this whole reuniting thing. Even like Devontae showing up for that Pat McAfee podcast, it all just feels very soap opera-y. And I don't like
Very
this team.
manufactured.
I don't trust this team to get out there and win big games when it matters. I think that they can sneak into the playoffs, maybe, but if they do, still a first round exit.
So you feel the same about this
Here,
team?
here.
Okay.
I echo. I think they're just a dysfunctional team. And I don't think they're gonna click and put
Yeah.
things together.
I mean, no team with an interim coach I think has ever made the playoffs,
And yeah, and they're 2-4.
right?
But
So-
I echo everything. I hear what you guys are saying, but I do think, okay, we're talking a lot about like the drama with the Jets, right? But sure, you pointed out, I think very smartly, this schedule is not that like it's very easy that this team gets to 9 wins by the end of this year. And an AFC that doesn't look great right now, you get Devontae Adams in, you solve that trust issue. Aaron and Devontae, I don't know if there's a better quarterback to receiver duo we've seen in the past 6 or 7 years.
This team couldn't beat the Broncos. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care.
But now we have Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
I
but-
mean, I don't think you can understate
I feel like the Devontae Adams impact isn't really being like.
that. I agree.
You know,
I
considering-
completely agree.
I think honestly, it just takes off so much burden off Aaron Rodgers because he
And we
really
saw
doesn't
that run
trust
game
a lot of the
working
guys.
in the last game as well.
Yeah.
Bills.
I just think there's a reason that teams like the Steelers, who I think are a very good functional organization, can have less talent and get wins and make the playoffs, and the reason that teams like the Jets don't.
Yeah.
That's because this is not a good organization. It's an organization that handed over the keys to Aaron Rodgers, who then handed it over to Nathaniel Hackett, doesn't know how to run this offense, doesn't know how to strategize.
He's
with
not
this
OC
offense.
anymore.
He's OC.
Well, he's
He has
not.
been
He's
the
not the
play
play
caller.
caller. And we
But
saw a
I-
market improvement.
Sure, but I mean, a
Could just-
game
could
stealing
just be-
interception, and
Could just be the first.
I mean, come on, you put up what? You put up 20 points, and 7 of those were off a Hail Mary.
Mhm.
There wasn't. I mean, when you think about it, there wasn't really much
But
market
watch
offensive
it-
improvement.
Watching
You keep saying
watch-
watch the games, but they're 2-4.
No,
It's
but
so
all
far,
I'm
so
saying-
much
all I'm
more
saying
bad
is
the
that
game shows.
on Monday night, I saw a Jets offense that looked a lot different than what it is before. Now, granted, could be just the first game with this new play calling,
Mhm.
could be a mirage. All I'm saying is I think what you guys are saying is a very much a vibes-based argument. And usually I tend to make those arguments, right? This is a bad organization, bad management, and bad decisions, especially with the solid.
Actually,
I don't think it's vibes based. I think it's pretty.
I have a question for Camille and Rohan. Do you guys think the Bengals are more likely to make the playoffs over the Jets, or do you guys think the Jets are more likely to make it?
That's a good question.
Just based off what you guys are thinking, I'm just curious what you guys think.
I think the Jets just because of the schedule and both units are a little more complete.
Okay.
But I wouldn't count the Bengals out.
I think the Jets too, because this defense, I think it is a
Okay.
very, very good defense, and the Bengals defense is awful, and the offense has
Mm-hmm.
shown sometimes that they can't really get it done. Whereas the Jets,
Okay.
defense
I
is
think what
consistently
actually,
good.
to bounce off of that, I think what's most worrying for me with the Jets is that the defense has not looked everything we thought it would be.
Mhm.
The pass defense is there, right? You know, you have these corners, you have these safeties who are able to lock up, I'd say, most teams in the passing game. But the run defense, we saw Ray Davis, who no one was really talking about before, Monday night, absolutely go off on this team. And you wonder if Jeff Ulbrich, now the head coach, previously the defense coordinator, you take out Saleh, who was a defensive coach and a very good defensive coach. We've seen everywhere he's gone, there have been good defenses, and the Jets had a good defense under his tenure. You wonder if Jeff Ulbrich is being stretched too thin by these new head coach responsibilities, and if this defense can recover. But anyway, we're going to talk about the Jets versus the Steelers. We'll have more to talk about there. But let's start off with a power ranking segment. I'll talk about my power rankings. You guys tell me how wrong I am. I feel like we're going to, in the previous years where we've done this segment, we've run into a lot of debates over this. So let me just start off. Number 10, the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams has arrived, guys.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is here. Against the Jaguars, 4 touchdowns, almost at 5, one taken away by a very questionable spot, I will say, in that London game. A great game against the Panthers previous before that. And we've seen, which is rare to see, the Bears improve every single week, game to game, especially that offense. That defense has been pretty consistent, I would say. The offense is starting to put it together. Keenan Allen is getting involved. Cole Kmet's getting involved. This team doesn't need DJ Moore to do well, and Rome Odunze hasn't really emerged yet. This running game is doing well. I don't like Eberflus as much as a coach, but you have to admit he's doing a good job with his defense. This offense is coming along. So I think the Bears at 10 makes sense for me, and I think the NFC North is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Number 9, I have the Washington Commanders. Tough loss to the Ravens last week, but I think Jaden has shown us what he is at this point, which is a very, very good quarterback in this league. Fought till the end, and the Commanders, were really in that game till the very end. So 2 rookie quarterbacks to start off the top 10.
Yeah, I think that's fair placement for both of them. The Commanders, I really think that I really don't want to see them fall, but I feel like they might start falling these next few weeks when you get into some divisional games. I think their defense shows some question marks, whereas the Bears, I think, are more all-around stout. I think they're going to be on the uptick. I think Commanders might be on the downtick a little bit. But Jaden Daniels, I think, looks like the real deal. I have no doubt in my mind he's going to be elite. But it's just about putting together a complete squad. I think the Bears are going to see are climbing up above the Commanders at some point this season.
Yeah, speaking of teams that are on the upswing right. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Sharif.
Sorry, no. Guys, there's one thing. These Bears wins, and I need to see some more win. Like, let's beat some, the positive teams over here, right? Like, you're 4-2. You've beaten the Colts, the Panthers, the Jaguars, and the Rams. An injured riddled Rams. Like, come on now. Like, let's see some, if there's a divisional win, a team that's positive, I think it would be a great litmus test against the Commanders to see if they're real or not. I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. Like, I agree in terms of power ranking, they do look like a top 10 team in the NFL just based off of their record as well. But I genuinely think we were getting ahead of ourselves. Caleb Williams beating bottom 10 defenses does not mean that they're going to make the playoffs because of the divisional games. That 6 games. And honestly, because the NFC North is just so insane this year, there is still a playoff miss-out possibility for the Bears. So I just want to get that on record.
Yeah.
No, I think that's fair, but you can only win the games on your schedule, right?
Yeah. And I would for the Bucs on this list, the Buccaneers, I think
their defense looks a little questionable to me at times.
Yeah, but Baker looks good.
Baker does look good.
We're going to see Bears Commanders next week.
Yeah.
I think that'll settle the debate, and it should. That could be an Olroy deciding, honestly, game right there.
Yeah. I'll do 8 through 5. At 8, I had the Atlanta Falcons. Not much to say here. I think this is a team on the upswing. I did have the team win the division in preseason. I wavered a little bit, but I think they're exactly kind of as advertised. Kirk Cousins is doing his thing. We saw him on Thursday night a couple weeks ago. He can really, air it out if need be. But this defense is pretty good. Pass rush still leaves something to be desired, but they're beating the teams they should be beating. They're pretty multidimensional on offense, so gotta give credit where credit is due. And this is a good team that should make the playoffs and should win a playoff game. At 7, I have the Buffalo Bills. Move them up through the Amari Cooper trade. Not much to say here. Josh Allen, this defense can make stops when they need to. You saw Teron Johnson stepping up, making a great interception. And they're getting healthier too.
Terrell Bernard.
Terrell Bernard. Bernard and Johnson weren't with us 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. They're getting healthy at the right time.
The defense looks a lot better with Oliver's going to be coming back.
Ed Oliver's going to be coming back. Christian Benford is emerging as a great cornerback. Yeah. And this offense should get better with Amari Cooper. Yeah. 5 and 6 we're seeing play this week. 6, the Houston Texans. It's still kind of the thing with the Texans where they're not doing everything you would want them to do, but they're winning these games. They're 5 and 1. CJ Stroud just seems like a veteran, even though he's in year 2. And this defense can get after the quarterback. Will Anderson is a star just as much as CJ Stroud is. And at 5, I have the Green Bay Packers. I told you guys in the preseason, I've been telling you guys since the last season, Jordan Love is here. Jordan Love has arrived, and Jordan Love is going to win MVP in my opinion. I still stand by
He's
that.
still
Whoa.
I'm still standing by
still
it.
on that.
I'm still on it, and you guys are going to be laughing by the end of the season that you didn't catch on when you had the chance.
We'll be laughing.
You know what? Yeah, we will be laughing, but yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
But anyway, this offense is great. Matt LaFleur is a top 3 play caller in this league. This defense can get turnovers, can get after the quarterback. Much better Packers defense than we have come to realize. So that is my 10 through 5. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts.
I think I like for the most part. If anything, I would bump the Texans over the Packers. I think I'm looking at the schedule right now. I mean, the Bills, that's a really quality win. I don't know if you can say the same about the Packers, that they have a quality win of that sort. I know, you got beat by the Vikings in a game that they were really getting boat raced for the entire first half, down 28-0. Granted, comeback is nice, but you can't deny the fact that going down 28-0 was pretty bad. Love threw for 3 picks that game. When you look at the schedule, they lost their wins are against the Colts, the Titans, the Rams, and the Cardinals, which I think is, I mean, the exact same wins nearly as the Bears, weirdly enough. But it's just not a marquee win on there, And
you're gonna see one this weekend. I'm telling you.
No, I'm just saying that, like for a team that you think is supposed to be good, I think that you should see a bit more than this. The Eagles loss, I think, isn't a loss that should have happened. I get it's week 1. I get it was in Brazil, but considering how the Eagles look this year, I think that's a game that should have been a win. And you can't disregard those when you're making these power rankings. I think the Pack should be below the Texans. Texans, I understand that there's some rough games, but they can grind them out. They showed more consistency. I think they're the better team right now.
Give me the Bills at 5.
Okay. The Bills lost to the Texans.
It was a weird game. If we play them today, we beat.
Okay. Sean McDermott is still coaching your team.
I know.
All right, I'll go through 4 through 1 pretty quickly. I feel like these are everyone's basically top 4 at this point. Number 4, I have the Ravens. Defense is still not everything you'd want it to be, but that offense is incredible right now. Lamar Jackson right now is playing more like an MVP than he ever did last season.
Yeah.
I was wrong about Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is still the king.
So wrong. Oh, I was telling you.
Yeah,
I was on your side, and I thought he wasn't going to be that great.
And we saw him. I was like, all right.
None of us thought it.
Yeah.
He's different. He's just different.
I mean, long live the king, because both him and Lamar creating the best total offense in the NFL, best total rushing offense in the NFL. Everything is advertised, and this team can beat anyone, honestly, with the way they're playing right now. Number 3, I got the Vikings. I don't know. I'm still a little bit iffy on this team, to be honest with you. This defense is real. The offense, I'm not completely sure yet. I think it's going to be a great test against the Lions this week. I don't trust Sam Darnold as much as you guys seem to trust him. He had a very bad game against the Jets. Not enough people are talking about that. He almost gave that game away. And, I think we'll see this weekend, because I think the Lions currently are playing the best team in football. That offense is incredible. They were just showboating on the Cowboys last week. They were literally just trying to get a touchdown to their offensive lineman. Seems like they're just playing Madden out there. They're running the ball, they're throwing the ball, and they're moving the line of scrimmage, which is the most important thing.
David Montgomery.
Yeah.
David Montgomery, what a dog. And then number 1. Who's number 1?
Yeah, number 1 is the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The loss of Aiden Hutchinson is the only reason the Lions are not number 1 right now, and
Really?
of course, Patrick Mahomes.
I think, I don't know, man. I think the Lions, I'd argue, I put them at 3 right now. I could see an argument for 4 or 5 even. I think they just lost the best player on their team. I think they lost the best player on their team.
And they still exist, man.
No, I think Hutchinson's the best player on the team. I mean, come on, he was the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. He was easily the leader of this defense. He was a monster out there. And I think losing him fundamentally changes this defense. I think they need to trade for an edge rusher, and until I see that, I don't think that they're the best team in the NFC East. I put the Vikings above them. I think the Vikings win this week. We'll talk about that game in a second. I might even put the Packers above them. I think this loss is tremendous. This is like, this isn't like if you lose TJ Watt for the Steelers, because the Steelers are really relying on TJ Watt, but I think it's going to have a similar impact on the defense. I think this defense it has talent. It doesn't have enough talent to make up for losing literally the best defensive player in the NFL as of now this season.
I don't know if that's true, but I agree with the sentiment.
I genuinely think the Lions should make a go at Myles Garrett. Like
Myles Garrett or Max Crosby, I think.
Or Max Crosby. I think one of those two just need to happen. I think it makes the most sense. If you're in a win now mode, which you do have one of the best rosters in the NFL, you will be aggressive. You will give up some draft capital and make the move for one of them. And honestly, that is the reason why I think I'm going to give it. Like, I know we're going to talk about it later, but like that's why I just feel like giving it to the Vikings this week, just because it's just more time for Sam Darnold in the pocket and more time for him to just throw it to one of his weapons. Get Ty Chandler involved, who's been looking great. And sorry, I just wanted to plug in some like Vikings love in there, but I just want to say that if they are very serious, then they will go out there and try to grab Max Crosby or Myles Garrett from the Browns.
Yeah, and listen, I think your Sam Darnold hate's a little overstated. I think Darnold's
one game margin.
I mean,
everyone has one game.
You just talked about how
interceptions already.
You were just talking about how great this Jet secondary was.
He was not good in the second half against the Packers either.
Sure, but I mean, at that point, he already raced to a 28-0 lead. He's out of rhythm. They were trying to control the clock. I think, for the most part, he's looked great. There's a lot of good weapons on this team. Hawkinson's coming back soon as well. I think that's huge for a quarterback that, isn't top of the line. Having an elite tight end and elite guy over the middle of the field is always nice to have. This team looks like the real deal to me. We still haven't had the Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy conversation, which needs to happen at some point. But give him the Vikings still.
We'll have plenty of time for that. Let's move to week 7 since we're talking about these teams. We're talking about Lions Vikings. Let's start with Lions Vikings. Big game in the NFC North. 6-0 team or 5-0 team versus a 4-1 team or 5-1. Yeah, 5-1 team. Yes. Yeah.
No, 4-1. Sorry, you're right.
Yes. But both these teams looking to take control of the division here. We've talked a lot about these teams. We can just do picks, go around street. You're picking the Vikings?
I am. I think they're coming off the bye. The Lions don't have Aiden Hutchinson. I trust this offense, even though they didn't look good against the Jets. And I think it will be a shootout type of game. But I do trust the Vikings defense to make a stop last minute. So give me 30-27.
Yeah, give me the Vikings. I think Sam Darnold is going to sit back in the pocket all day, and Justin Jefferson is just going to be roaming free in that secondary.
Score?
Vikings 27-23.
Okay. I guess I might be the only one who's taking the Lions here. Give me the Lions. I just trust this offense. I trust this offensive line. This is the best individual unit in the NFL, the Lions offensive line. So I'm to expect them to control this game, take notes from the Packers in the second half there. The Vikings have been in some close games in the past couple weeks. I expect the Lions to close it. Give me the Lions 30-27.
I'll echo what Sheree and Camille said, and I'll say one more thing. Jared Goff under pressure is still, I think, his one fault as a quarterback, and that's what Brian Flores does best: bring pressure, bring unique pressure. Mm-hmm. So I'll give it to the Vikings 24-20.
All right, let's move.
I just want to say one thing. Yeah. Justin Jefferson, his last 3 games against the Lions, okay? And all of these are losses, but still, just going to put it out there. 12 for 192 and a touchdown on 14 targets. The one before that, 6, 141 and on touchdown. 11 for 223 on 15 targets.
They can't.
And like I said, they also have the best defense. We have one of the best defenses in the league, and a new quarterback, a new system. Brian Flores versus Dan Campbell is going to be one of the most insane coaching matchups.
It's Ben Johnson versus Brian Flores, really.
Oh, sorry, Ben Johnson. That's not
good. That is a fun coaching matchup.
That is such an insane coaching bout right there. I'm very excited for it.
Look, I prefer guys who didn't get fired, so I'm going to take Ben Johnson. Let's move to Texas Packers. Already talked about these two teams as well. I said earlier, give me the Packers. I think the Packers are the more complete team here. I think the Packers are the better coach team, even though I like D'Amico Ryans and what they're doing over there. Matt LaFleur is going to design some play calls to get all these playmakers for the Packers in space. Jaden Reed has been a real star, a very underrated star this year. And I think Jordan Love is going to deal against the Texans. But I expect this to be a close game till the end. But give me the Packers 27-24.
I'll take the Texans. I think the Texans defense has been very underrated this year. I think they bait Love into a few mistakes. He's the gunslinging type quarterback. I think Derek Stingley gets a few interceptions, not a few, one interception. And the Texans, I mean, again, CJ Stroud's looked good. The Packers I think they have the best turnover differential this year so far in the NFL. Doing that wins you a lot of games, but I don't think CJ Stroud's the type to turn the ball over. So I think they have a safe offensive game even without Nico Collins, giving the Texans 20-17.
Yeah, I think the Texans, they've been playing with fire a bit too much these last few games. I think the Packers are a tough opponent here for them. Jordan Love is going to have a good game, in my opinion, and CJ Stroud down Nico Collins. I think that might hurt him a little bit. I'll take the Packers 24-20 here.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers as well. I agree with everything you guys said before.
All right, Super Bowl rematch. Chiefs Niners, America's game of the week this week. Patrick Mahomes is an underdog for whatever reason. I don't know what Vegas is thinking because Patrick Mahomes, I believe, is 11-1-1 against the spread as an underdog in his career.
He's an underdog.
Yes, he is.
He is.
It's a 1.5 for the Niners. The Niners are 3-3. The Chiefs are 5-0, 6-0, and somehow the Niners are a favorite. Yeah, we know these two teams very well. We've talked about these two teams a lot over the past couple of years. Not really much to say. The Chiefs are still down Rashee Rice. Do they have a receiver problem? Who knows? Honestly, Juju Smith-Schuster seemed like he was back. Yeah. This Niners defense has not been all that this season, but Brock Purdy has been. Brock Purdy has been very good. No Christian McCaffrey still. Everyone else is back. This is a vibes-based pick for me. Give me the Niners in a revenge game. I think they're pissed about last year. I think Fred Warner, Nick Bosa are going to make some key plays, get a turnover or two from Patrick Mahomes, and I think Brock Purdy is going to have a very good game, just like he did in the Super Bowl. I expect this to be a close game, but a close game. I would take Mahomes, but for some reason I'm going to take Brock Purdy here. Give me the Niners 21-20.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. Like everything tells me to pick the Niners here. Last week I think was a great showing for them through the run game. Defense looked solid, but I don't know. It's just the Chiefs, isn't it? Like
It is just the
the
Chiefs.
Chiefs haven't like looked. There hasn't been a game where I'm like, wow, like look at the Chiefs, man. They look like fantastic. They're like firing on all cylinders, but they're still 5-0. They just win. They just win games. So yeah, give me the Chiefs. I have no logic. Just give me the Chiefs.
Score?
I say like 23-17.
Yeah, I mean, speaking from experience, if you lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs, you have a pretty good chance of beating them in the regular season. And this seems like the type of game the Chiefs will drop. I don't think they're going to go 17-0. There's going to be a couple losses in that right-hand column. I think this is probably one of them. Niners are going to be hungry. They want this win. Chiefs, we know the issues going on with them offensively with their receivers. I think this is the first game that will look a little mortal. I think it's going to be a slugfest, something like 20-17 Niners.
Patrick Mahomes is 4-0 against the Niners. 2 Super Bowl wins in there. This isn't the best Niners defense, like Arjun said. And Juju Smith-Schuster is emerging. Travis Kelce's getting involved.
Is it really 2024 we're saying all this?
Juju Smith-Schuster's emerging. Give me the Chiefs, man. I made the mistake of betting against Mahomes. I think I said it earlier, like very early on. I was like wondering if the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs or like some bullshit take like that. And I regret that take just like I made about Josh Allen and the Bills. Give me the Chiefs.
Also, Kelsey's back. Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey's back. He's getting involved.
It's the
He
same.
might not be back, but he's definitely getting more involved. And Juju Smith-Schuster might be the real.
Can we talk about how bad the Saints defense has been? 51 points last week. Come on.
True.
I don't know.
The
Yeah.
Browns are not fantastic, but I mean, Kareem Hunt looked great last week too, or 2 weeks ago.
Sean Tucker also looked great against this defense.
That's fair. Production is not a good defense, but I don't know. It's just Mahomes.
Yeah. All right. Next game, for some reason, even though a lot of storylines in this game, we haven't even talked about the Steelers quarterback situation yet. Russell Wilson seems like he's in pole position to start, but certain people on the show here took issue with us discussing this game, even though I don't think we've highlighted a single Steelers game this season.
What?
Steelers Chargers. That was the only one. That was the only one.
Why did we highlight that one?
That's proof enough of you.
It's 2-0, 2-0. Steelers Jets 4-2 versus 2-4. Apparently, former President Donald Trump will be at this game as well.
Really?
I don't know what that means. But Russell Wilson.
Why is he at that game?
He has a rally in Latrobe apparently on Saturday. Anyway, the Steelers, Russell Wilson will be starting at quarterback, it appears. Mike Tomlin being cagey about the situation as always, but seems like he's getting all the first team reps. Who knows if that's the right decision? Justin Fields has not looked great in the passing game. Has been a product, has been a very good product in the running game in terms of, and especially in the red zone. But see, this passing game can take a step. Talk about the Jets going into here. This is going to be the rare time I'm going to pick against the Steelers. I just think the Jets are desperate. The Jets need a win more than anyone else in the league, I feel like, going into this game. they are going to be hungry, and if they don't get a win here, like it's not over for them, but 2-5 is not where you want.
I think it's over.
Yeah, that's kind of a death knell.
This is kind of a must win.
So it's a must win for the Jets. I think the Steelers will be good, not great. I think this defense is going to give Aaron Rodgers some fits, but I do think Russell Wilson in his first start back maybe a little bit of rust on the wheels there. Give me the Jets 20-17, though I could see the Steelers easily winning this. This does seem like the kind of game Tomlin could pull out of his ass as well.
Yeah, what's wrong with him? Why, like, what's with your Aaron Rodgers, like,
Yeah, dude.
glazing, bro? Like, I'm picking the Steelers.
Yeah,
I'm picking the Steelers.
No, this is okay.
I don't.
It's not Aaron
particularly
Rodgers.
like
It's
the
not
Steelers.
Aaron Rodgers' take. This is
It
Jets
really
and
must
Steelers.
be, bro. It really must be because you should be a homer when it comes to this type of stuff.
I'm not gonna. I'm
Like,
an analyst. I'm not gonna
no,
pick my team
sorry,
for that little bit.
You shat on me for believing in the Falcons, and you refuse to give up on the Jets, and your whole thing is like, oh, I like my numbers, I like what I see. What the hell have you seen from the Jets?
Desperation.
Yeah.
Desperation.
It's pretty plain of desperation. This is
Dude,
a team that
They were
plays
desperate
hard.
last game at home, 2-3, just fired their coach. They still couldn't win. Like,
Hey, if it doesn't happen this week, I'm not picking the Jets. Well, who knows? Can't hold me to that.
I think. Listen, I think things look like the perfect match for the Steelers right now. I think Russell Wilson starting is the right choice. I think he's going to give you a little bit more poise, especially against a defense that's a little bit more tough, a little bit more stout, where you can't just like run away and hope to make plays on the run like Justin Fields does. I think he's going to bring that veteran presence.
Mhm.
Like you said, Jets run defense doesn't look great. Najee has looked actually pretty great a lot of this year. Najee looked great, especially
Yeah,
after
pretty
contact. I think he can really do some damage if they stick with the run, which I think they will. I think he can do some damage. Defensively, I think this Steelers team has only had really one bad game against the Colts. I think even against the Cowboys that played well defensively, just needed a bit more from the offense in that one loss. I don't know. The Steelers, I think, look solid, and the Jets do not. I mean, you're really banking on the fact that the Jets' offense is going to be something that it hasn't been all year because of the Devontae introduction, and this is his first game back. His first game back off of injury too.
Well, injury.
I don't know. A lot of it doesn't.
He had
add
a
up.
case of Hegonitis.
A lot of it doesn't add up for me for the Jets, and a lot of it does add up for me for the Steelers. Give me the Steelers in a slugfest, 20-13. Tree.
Okay, my reasons for making my pick are nowhere near what Arjun's reasons are. I just want to get that record straight.
What's wrong with you guys?
We're like a
I'm not some Aaron Rodgers glazer. I'm not.
Honestly, I don't even think I said Aaron Rodgers' name right.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
It was like implied, I thought.
What I will say is that there are some when you look at the Steelers, there are some winnable games that just always are lost, even though the situation is looking great. Those are 2 or 3 games that always happen. The Colts, for example, we should have won that game. And even with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, as much as I love this secondary, Devontae Adams will cook any defense, if he's playing well. He put up over 200 yards against us last year with, I think, Aiden O'Connell at quarterback. Or someone else at quarterback. Oh, yeah, Garoppolo at quarterback. Now you give him Aaron Rodgers, who's looked pretty great, at least in a couple of games. And Aaron Rodgers has unfortunately beaten the Steelers before in a heartbreaking Super Bowl loss, which is obviously another.
This is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that this connection scares me. I think it will be a slugfest, but at the end of the day, I'm going to pick the Jets 13-10.
Okay, I'm sorry. My reasoning was much more, I would say, sound than Shree's Aaron
No,
Rodgers.
I think neither. I don't love either of the
All right.
reasoning.
Camille picked the Steelers.
Yeah, I think this game is
What's
pretty.
going on?
It's pretty simple.
What's wrong with you two?
The Steelers are just a better team. They're a better coach.
Yeah.
I trust them to win this game. I don't even know like what is going on with the Jets, like coaching wise. I think it's just Aaron Rodgers just doing whatever the hell he wants, and they have to go along with it. And that's just not a recipe to beating a Mike Tomlin-led team. I think this defense is going to give them fits like we've seen the Jets offense struggle with already against the Vikings defense. Aaron Rodgers, he's good. He's not that guy anymore. He's not MVP Rodgers. He can't just will this team to victory. And just give me the Steelers. They're the better team.
All right,
Something has gotten into both of you.
Let's do quick. Okay, all right. Camille has to go. Let's do quick picks for.
You've been watching on this break.
Let's do quick picks for Ravens Bucks. Give me the Ravens 30-24. Think this Bucks defense is pretty bad. I think Baker's going to put up some points, but this Ravens offense is unfortunately very good.
Yeah, man. How about them Ravens? How about them Ravens? How about Lamar? I'm gonna say a few words on Lamar.
No, I
Arjun.
don't.
How
I
good is
said
Lamar?
enough.
How good is Lamar
He's
been?
good. He's great at
How
football.
good has
He's great at
Lamar been?
football.
I mean, these last 3 games, 35 points, 41 points, 30 points. This offense is clicking.
Okay, yeah, they're good at
Everything is
football.
clicking. Not even the run game, the pass
This
game is
is
clicking
insane
too.
plays right
Zay
now.
Flowers looked amazing last week as well. Shout out Zay Flowers.
Plays.
You don't shut up, bro. Shut up. I've heard words from you about Joe Burrow. Not even an MVP candidate. Not even an MVP winner.
Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Sorry.
Hasn't won MVP twice. Lamar's playing out of his mind. But let me not diss Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, I think, has been fantastic this year too. Putting up 51 points in an NFL game is no laughing matter, and they did that last week against the Saints. I think this Buccaneers team can really challenge for the NFC South. I think that they are just this offense is multifaceted. Chris Godwin has reemerged. Mike Evans looks great. Bucky Irving, Rashad White out of the backfield. This is an all-in-all great offense. I think this is going to be a shootout of a game. Really fun Monday night game. Give me the Ravens. Is it Monday night? Yeah, Monday night game. Give me the Ravens 34-30.
You know what? I'm going to take the upset on this. I'm going to take the upset. Like I think it'll be a shootout from both teams. I think, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, it's very scary out there. And, I think at some point we just have to pick an upset for some teams. Like I said, the Ravens have dropped a couple games. They're 4-2 for a reason. When they look great, they look great. Don't get me wrong. But when they're not together, when there's just no chemistry there, it worries me. So, I think I'm going to go with the Bucs, just pick an upset, take a flyer on Baker because he's looked great. I think he's leading the league in touchdowns right now or something like that. There's like some statistic out there. And for a reason. So whatever Chris Godwin did last week was absolutely insane. Granted, it was against a bad defense. But I'm going to take the upset. Give me the Bucs. I'll go it's at home, Monday Night Football. Give me 27-23.
Perfect. All right. A lot of great games this on the schedule for week 7. Should be a very fun week of football. Make sure to check out our Instagram for picks, power rankings, and more. My name is Arjun Ryan.
I'm Shribam Kanda.
I'm Ron Patel.
And I'm Camille Mdani. And we'll see you next week on the turf.
Wait, Arjun, I'm going to record